Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Caesars, Southern Indiana. It is the site of the pool universe right now. It's the 2025 Derby City Classic. We've been having a great time so far, and this tournament has been just ultra good so far. We've had 16 of the best players on the planet all facing off on this beautiful Diamond 5x10. We call it the Bigfoot, and this is the Diamond Bigfoot 10-Ball Challenge, and it's single elimination. Only one can move on to the championship to meet the defending champion, Joshua Filler. It's time to find out who is going to the championship. First up, he is a 2023 American 10-Ball champion, 2022 Texas Open 10-Ball champion, and he's sponsored by Predator, Kamui, Zone 5, and Tingo and Louise and Daniel. He defeated the great Shane Van Boening and Neuhausen to get here. He's the pride of South America from Lima, Peru. Make some noise for Gerson Martinez. And his opponent is a junior European champion, 2024 9-Ball Derby City runner-up, and 2024 9-Ball Super Billiard Expo runner-up, and the 2023 UK Open semi-finalist, sponsored by Action Palace, Predator, Tom, Uptown Billiards, and Sushi Master. He defeated Fedor Gorst in round 1 and Alex Pagulayan to get here. Ladies and gentlemen, from Vilnius, Lithuania, make some noise for Pijus Labutis. Our referee is Ricky Bryant. We're lagging for the break and sending it up to Scott Frost and Mark Wilson of the Accu-Stats Skybox.
Hello and welcome, pool fans from around the world. Next up, Accu-Stats continuing coverage of the Bigfoot Challenge. I'm Mark Wilson. Alongside me, my partner, Scott Frost. Scott, any opening thoughts here on this one?
Just excited to be here, my friend. Just excited. I think the dark horse for me in this tournament is that little man, Mr. Martinez. He sure is maybe little in stature, but his game seems to be rather powerful. He has not faded at all. Obviously, Pijus, in my opinion, is one of the most fluid players that we have out here, and I enjoy watching him as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Gerson withstands the pressure. It doesn't get easier.
They show you that Gerson got past Shane Van Boening 10-7 and Neuhausen 10-4. He hasn't backed off, and like you said, he always has a very bounce in his step, up-tempo, excited, makes things happen, fearless shot maker.
Yeah, and he's really withstood the pressure, Mark, right? They've fired back at him a couple of times, and he's held solid. Of course, he's going to make a mistake here or there, but really stayed strong.
Yeah, I think in that Van Boening set, wasn't he ahead 6-3, and then Van Boening tied it up 6-6?
Yes.
I believe, and then Gerson just never backed off, went around through. Labutis, conversely, very fluid, smooth stroke, good head game. You know, for a 22-year-old, you just don't expect him to be that composed throughout the tough, trying, challenging matches.
Yeah, and I think yesterday, you know, he had some struggles within his match, actually more than I've typically seen him struggle, at least at this event. But he got through it, and he got through it with class.
Get our first look at Gerson Martinez in this set. Semifinal action. This set's worth $8,000 to the winner, $4,000 to the loser. The winner of this match will come back tonight at 9 p.m. for the finals.
I think it'd be a big story if this young man happened to win the event.
Super good break. 9-ball and the 8-ball went down. Looks like he's going to get a shot. And a good shot.
Yeah, a good shot is right. Wants to stay above the 7. He is going to have to come all the way over. Another look at the premier replay.
3 balls on the break and centered up the cue ball beautifully.
Yeah, he'd like to patent that. Just stay clear above the 7. He might even have to dig into this with a little bit of a low ball. Could kill it. I don't know. Okay. A little heavy, Mark.
Yeah, that's not the way he wanted to start off. The break was great. The winning the leg was great, but then to miss the opening ball kind of takes away some of that momentum that you just picked up. No, I think Labutis can just float the one in. I don't think he needs to try to play position from here.
I like that decision.
And
right.
kind of a two-cushion shot, right?
Yeah.
Rather than a one cushion. That plays a little bit better.
Yeah, the one lays in a big ball position. So I really like that decision. You don't want to try and do anything too special here.
Well, he did go with pace.
Yeah, but to your point now, he's got a lot more distance. I think I'd have rather taken the shot to the side, but, you know, he's at the table. And I think it could have gone a little bit more wrong that way versus just making sure you get the ball down.
The one thing, when you kick with a little bit firmer speed, the line tends to hold a little bit truer, a little easier to judge. Maybe he felt that way on his opening shot. He wanted to make sure he got the one ball down. And now he deliberately plays the overcut safety. Much approved. And that's what I'm saying. For a young man to have that type of capacity and not take on something that wasn't really there and force it to happen, something lower percentage.
Yeah, pretty much the likes of Moritz, Neuhausen as well. Both so mature for their age within the game.
Yeah, Labutis, his Fargo rating's 806. He's over 800 at 22 years old.
It's going to be a little firm. He could just park him behind the 6, but a lot of times these guys like to avoid that and rather create distance. And distance can be a lot stronger, especially when you're on a 10-foot table.
So you have to kick in behind it to get distance, though, right? Or are you saying just because
you might be able to use the 10 and just use the 2 into the 6.
Okay. So that didn't provide the distance I was thinking that. But he did do a good job speed-wise. Got the cue ball over there on the rail, so draw is not a possibility.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to swerve this just a tick. 2 is very close to the rail, if not frozen, makes things a little more difficult.
Ken scratching the other side, too. Nope. He swerved it enough to hit it contact full. So Labutis has won the tactical exchange.
Yeah, I don't see much trouble here. Just avoid the 4. Or go right into it. Probably by design, most likely.
Does he come back up to play the 4 in the same corner he's going to play the 5, or does he just come across?
I like the side here.
Okay. He was able to go soft enough. Now it's just a stun stop, so you have a little angle on the 5. That's what he's measuring up right now. What if I get this angle? How well can I control the cue ball from the 5?
Is that a little further than he wanted to go? I don't think it's any type of a problem. Six does play in the side as well.
That's a very nice hit.
Yeah, I like his decision. You really couldn't come up too short there. Probably more concerned about getting too far past the 6, if anything. Oof. Caught it real fat, Mark. It did drop the speed. Dictated that.
Yeah, that was a nice stroke. Anyway. He's got a stop shot, and then another stop shot. And that will be a 1-game lead for Labutis. And game 1 kind of earned from that tactical decision, or the decision to play safe. This particular event does not count towards your master of the table points, but it's kind of like the immense respect from the other pros because they know it's invitational. Big money, single elimination, 5x10, small pockets, pristine equipment. It's kind of like the Players' Championship. Then we get our first look at Labutis' break today. Just left of center. What is that? The 4 and the 3 right behind the head ball here. Those are the balls they try to make in the side. 8 and 9 are on the corners. Boy, move 5, 6 balls around this end of the table, but nothing fell.
Yeah, and he continues to go to that left side of the table or his right side with the break. Here's another replay. Still a square hit. You couldn't say that's not. I think he's got a little more power on his break versus Gerson. There's something to be said about it. Oh, nice play there.
Mm-hmm. Use the 5 ball to create an angle to get position. I had to laugh. I was following Gerson down the hallway last night, and he had his phone out. He was FaceTiming back to Peru, and they were smiling. I don't understand the language, but they really didn't say much. He just had his picture on there with his thumb up.
Yeah, I spoke to him for a quick minute. The English is still a little bit of a challenge, but seems like such a nice guy.
Once in a while, you'll see him wrench his elbow way out on a stroke. He still makes the balls the majority of the time, but it's scary. You think that he thinks he missed it.
Yeah, he's going to have a good line. Looked like he might come too far there. That's really nice and tight. I don't know about the reach, but he seems to handle that quite well.
Yeah. Just a little bit of high right. Bring it back behind the side pocket here.
Definitely a momentum player, Mark. He starts to get that blood running.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's got the up-tempo pace for sure.
There was a little of that movement you were talking about. And you really can't predict when it's coming because some of them are on just real simple stun shots or stop shots, and then some of them are really tough shots. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, and sometimes he'll stand there just so stoic and just so still, and I think, okay, he's got it now. And then later on, all of a sudden, there he creeps one in there.
Yeah, if I were his coach, that would definitely be something you would want to be discussing at times. Obviously not right now because it can be magnified when you're talking to somebody about that during an event. But he really jumped up again on the 7 mark and traveled a little bit far on this 8. This is a big shot.
Kind of poked it a little bit.
Wow, this is a challenge. If he can go forward, it's a lifesaver. Coming backwards, wow, that can induce a miss. That's what he's looking at now.
Just 6 inches off the rail.
Oh, and he's got to come back. Watch outside pocket.
This would be a good one to get the camera isolated on his stroke delivery rather than the balls, but have all of it. Because then you can see how much we see from up here when that back arm flinches or wrenches out. Yeah. pretty good. A little pokey. He just went for the stop shot.
Yeah, you really can't fault him for the decision. I don't, you know, if he makes or misses the 10, I think that was the best play we've seen all week. People trying to force that shot, and it always fails. So great decision there, in my opinion.
Just in the last match, Gomez went for the super draw at the end, and he butchered it. I didn't even threaten the pocket. Just stand there and take it. Oh.
Yeah, that's a little bit heartbreaking right there because I really like the play that he made. You know, he's always subject to miss that ball. It was not easy, but he gave himself a better chance.
Mm-hmm. Labutis now grabs a 2-0 lead.
He'll have the break in rack 3. Correction, looks like Martinez will be breaking in rack 3. I want to thank our sponsors, Aaron with Tournament Balls, Simonis, and of course, Diamond.
Outer table action. There's bank pool still. One pocket started. 9-ball will be coming up in 2 days. A lot of action here.
Yeah, all the great games. It's really molded a lot of players, this event, over the years.
The 4 and 8 ball, 2 balls right behind the 1. The 8 found the side. The 10 ball almost went in. The 10 does not win on the break had it gone in.
Yeah, and
just spots.
Look at this, Mark. Can he come off the left side of the 1 and send the cue ball 2 rails towards the 10, or is the 9 in the way? That's what he's looking at now. He's got cover or backup with the 4, 3, 5. It's going to be close. You do not want to connect with the 9. Doesn't have the pace.
Well, he hit it good. Oh, one more donut for breakfast. But look how good he did with the 1 ball here. Labutis almost has to think about just knocking the 10 ball in, taking a foul.
Yeah, he really needs to think about it, actually. I think that was the first thought that came to my mind, Mark. I totally agree. You typically don't want to do that in this circumstance, but the way the cue ball rested on top of the 10 and the way these balls lay, I think it's possibly the right shot. And so does he.
He would have liked to do something more than that. Move another ball, too, simultaneously, but it was going to. Everything was so far away, you run the risk of making things worse. So he's conceded ball in hand in an effort to force Martinez to run the balls rather than just play a cheap combination.
Is this the right play? Drawing with a reach, long distance?
Well, I think that offers the most control from here. Feels like he can draw between the 4 and the 5. And he was wrong.
Yeah, there was a 2-rail line going forward or above the 9 and above the 9 and below the 7, or in between the 9 and 7, I should say. So I don't know. It worked out.
You know, I kind of like the arc draw over here. If
yeah,
go
that was available as well.
Because when it's up here, it's pretty hard to pound that 2-rail when you can miss it so easy.
Boy, the body movement is heavy today. It was just, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5% of the time yesterday, but today it's a lot more than that. I wonder if he's getting a lack of sleep with the other events going on.
It's part of his game too. I mean, he clearly a very experienced body manipulator here on the stroke.
Yeah, it just seems to be magnified today. You know what I mean? And when you're tired, it typically will show up a little bit more. Yeah, it's going to be short. Cross corner, I would play with a low outside ball here and just suck up towards the middle of the top rail. If you miss this ball, you want to miss it short. You never want to miss it long. Yeah, man. Really tough cut there, especially spinning it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought the bank was more the play just because you don't leave it hanging nearly as often as if you barely miss this one.
You don't want to let this guy get comfortable, I can tell you that much. He's getting the opportunities to get comfortable.
He definitely displays a maturity beyond that of a 22-year-old when he goes around the table and just is, even when things go awry, he just looks so comfortable. Like he's been here before, done this, knows what he's supposed to do, going to remedy whatever it was that he was unhappy with.
Yeah, I second all of that for sure.
His is much more clinical, and Gerson Martinez, the emotional one. And 3-0 is now a score. The Blues in front. You know, the one thing, though, Labutis is probably more experienced in this competition realm of high-quality players who play European players all the time. Or Martinez from Peru probably doesn't get the exposure. Okay, Labutis set to break rack 4, leading 3-0. Six ball tracking, rimming the side pocket, 3 ball coming around. Made both the corner balls. Now getting position on the 2 is going to be really tricky.
Yeah, is he worried about catching the 5 too thick here? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, as soon as you hit the 5, it doesn't want to let the cue ball come across the table. It wants to go down the table. If the 9 wasn't there, then you stun forward that kind of 3-rail safety play.
Yeah,
The 9's kind of in the way for that.
correct. And he's also concerned maybe about the 6. Okay, he got past it. That's great. Very good. About as good as you could get.
Mm-hmm. Pretty important shot right here. Drained it. A hint the wrong angle, but cannot feel bad about that. That was the speed that he needed to play it to pocket the ball the most comfortably.
Yeah, and he can get into this pretty good.
This one, I think he'll go 3 rails all the way to the end rail so that he doesn't hit this ball light or something and come up long or short by a mile.
Yeah, good call. I like that.
And once he comes off this rail, then you're kind of protected and away from the rail.
Yeah, and you can assure the make, right? Go through the ball with confidence versus trying to baby it and hold for some type of an angle.
Just going to pull it back a little bit. And he can probably hold this, but he won't play it that way. He'll go 1 rail, just let it come out, and it plays the object ball much freer to the pocket.
Yeah, and that's why he got up. Wants to make sure.
No, he did kill it.
Yeah, I felt like he was kind of in between there. A lot of those guys will do what Mark just said and make sure they come on over.
If there's any doubt, you're just going to let it go. He had a better angle than I described, so he was able to comfortably handle that.
Well, they've fooled us with that multiple times, myself included, and I think it's also due to the size of the table. It gives you a little bit more room to hold the ball.
Yeah. We've mentioned it a number of times. Any ball that hangs on this 10-footer would have been down on a 9-footer. This table plays about 35% more difficult than a 9-foot table. Okay, the Blues 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah, the early errors from Martinez. He's going to need to make a move.
And the other part of it is that Labutis is capitalizing. He's playing 1,000 pool right now. He has not made 1 error.
Just from the get-go, Gerson's just looked a little more uptight today.
There we get a look at some of the early stats. 16 balls pocketed to 24. 5 errors for Martinez, 0 for Labutis.
Mark, how many 1,000 TPAs are there out there? Any?
Oh, 2.
2.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the shot a perfect match, yeah. Billy Johnson did it in the finals.
Wade Crane. All right.
Yeah, Wade Crane. What am I talking about? I'm thinking about his road name. But and then let me think. I think it might have been Ishmael Paez. It's been a while back. I believe there was 2 documented 1,000s. Which is a perfect match. Means you make 0 mistakes. It's pretty hard to make 0 mistakes. A 900 player means you pocket 9 balls and make 1 mistake for every 9 balls that you make. That's elite class. That's world class. 900.
Yeah, I had a tournament in Arizona I hosted, and Eklund Kachi on 4-inch diamond table broke and run the set playing 10 ball against Alec Baguline.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. 10 ball's getting out.
Yeah, it is getting out. It's getting a lot more movement.
And look at all the balls all down here in a clump in kind of an odd way. And it looks like Labutis thinks he has a shot at it, so he has clearance.
Yeah, another look. I feel like he might have. It seems like when they're trying to overpower this rack, this is the result now.
Yeah, the cloth is a bit more broke in for sure, because they were making balls with that type of break all week. 5 balls behind the headstring. You don't see that very often. Yeah, Labutis comfortably had that shot.
Really analyzing the 4.
The path from the 2, yeah, to get to the 3.
To get to the 4.
to get to the 4.
Yeah, he's going to have to take some distance here, I think, unless he wants to whip all the way around to the back of the 3.
Well, if you whip, the side pocket's in play. Oh, he was able to just thread by.
Yes, he was.
Man, and got the cue ball close. What a shot that was.
Yeah, it looked like he just missed the 7.
What a shot. Now he's be able to go to the side rail just before the side pocket with a little spin and get pretty good on that 4, I think. And see how he stayed still and got through and got a lot out of that soft swing.
Yeah, his transition is so sweet.
I know. He's like the Phil Mickelson of pool.
Oh, he really is. That's actually a great comparison there.
Lefties.
And you touched on it a minute ago. Even when he was struggling, he looked flawless.
Uh-oh, trouble. Wow. Major trouble, big trouble.
I got him there, Mark.
He needed to introduce just a hint of inside spin.
Yeah, flat ball is what caused that to come back to 7. Check it up just a little. I think he avoids it.
Lucky to have Hall of Famer Scott Frost here helping with the commentary, but there's a Hall of Fame wife out there named Kim Laird who allows her husband to listen to the broadcast in the car. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Oh, look at this shot.
Man, very heady.
Yeah, very tough for us to be able to tell that he could even see a piece of that ball. You can see how thin he hit it.
Yeah, paper thin. And pretty good job on the direction and speed that he had there. There was a chance he gets it tangled up with the 6.
Is he banking this down or thinning it?
I thought he was going to hit it pretty heavy so he could hold the cue ball on this end rail. Yeah, but not the speed. But, boy, good execution there.
Yeah, cut him off from the bottom side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he looking to come inside the 8 and really shorten this up? It's going to be a lot of power here.
Great effort. Made the most of that one. That was the best he could do from there.
Yeah, hit and hope. Really, you just got to try and get distance or separation or make it. Anything can happen.
But the velocity and the solid impact suggests, a quality stroke for sure. It's kind of funny, too. With my college kids, we used to have a day sometimes just because I try to keep things fresh. And you practice 9-ball, practice slopping balls in.
Really?
But you have to use good strokes. I don't allow you to use a half-ass stroke. But it's amazing because now you start to think of how can I move the most balls here? And here's the bottom line. Efren Reyes will luck in more balls than anybody else. On purpose. If you say, hey,
sure,
because he knows where to go.
Very interesting. Billiards. Yes.
Yeah. But it's a good development, and it kept the practice fun for people. It was just kind of a cool exercise. It did teach you something.
Well, I'm hoping that Gerson can teach us something and get on this 9. I mean, the carom is also there on the 10, but if the 9 passes, it does not pass in the upper right.
Well, he made a nice carom on the 5-ball last night, suggesting that he has some billiards background. So he's a little short to play the carom here.
It's going to go on the side, I assume, because he did take a look at it. Boy, it looks tight.
Well, yeah, it does from here.
Watch the body movement. Yeah, I think he might overlook the carom.
I think he should have gone for the carom. There was so much bigger space to get to if this was iffy at all. Good shot. Stayed pretty still there, too, didn't he? Surprised me.
He did.
4-1 now.
4-1 after 5.
Okay, Labutis breaking now. This is a race to 10. See who goes into the finals tonight.
Oh, look at the pop, Mark.
Really good stroke. Good results. Didn't get a very good shot on the one, but everything else was good. You know, I kind of like just floating the one ball, one rail. I don't know if we can grab the overhead real quick, but if we can, I really like here, bank the one ball here, and try to get the cue ball kind of embedded out in
Yeah,
this area.
I agree. He could use the 5 as well if he wants, if it's too steep to be behind the 8.
Okay. Yes.
Did he lose it, though?
Yeah, he did. It slipped out there on him. I like the idea, because the 2 was never going to be any good anyway. Even if you did cut the 1 in, there's no
future, right?
Right, not a big bonus for sure. You never want to shoot an iffy shot to get to another iffy shot, because the math catches you finally, even if you do connect.
Oh, great.
He made something happen from nothing there.
Yeah, and I think he was just trying to make contact with the 9 or 10 and work with what he got. Got a bonus. A big bonus.
Yeah, very doable rack now.
Is this thinner than he wanted to be?
Mm-hmm.
He could have been back another 6 inches.
You'll notice his tip is he's real pokey today.
Yeah, I think
jabby
he's fatigued. Agreed. Looks very uptight. You don't want to get too thin on this 6. You're better off being actually fuller on it, meaning straighter versus too thin, because you do not want to risk getting too steep where you're dealing with the side or the 9. And he was aware of that.
That's a great shot. Get the cue ball close to the 6 where he can reach it comfortably, draw it pretty straight on. Beautiful shot.
I feel like we've seen this a few times with him where he's down a little bit in a match and gets comfortable and really starts to perform. It needs to run, Mark. He's going to get there.
Yeah. Grab his extension real quick. No, he's toggling off his shaft. Not so much because he needed that, but he just wanted to collect his mind there for a moment, make sure he cashes this opportunity in.
Oh, this is all right, I think, but it looked like it could be a tick hard. Doesn't want to crash into the 10.
Yeah, it's for sure a tick hard.
Yeah. I think it's so thin now that he can avoid the 10. But can he hold the cue ball? Shouldn't be a problem. He's so close.
Good shot. Good shot there. 4-2. Fighting hard from behind.
And 2 in a row. Makes it 4-2.
There's something going on. I keep seeing him do something with his shoulders. See him? Yeah. Yeah, you see what he's doing?
Yeah.
He's very tense. He's continuing to do that. I noticed it right away. I felt like he was a little bit different. Hopefully he works out of it. Handled that pretty good.
Nothing will heal you up like a good run out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'll definitely cure some ailments.
You can forget about your pain when you're concentrating on this. Did you ever know a pool player in Des Moines named Bill Archer?
Bill was a very good friend of mine. Was a great guy. Wow. Funny you bring that name up. Wow, I've not heard his name in a long time. He was such a good guy. I can picture him now.
He played pretty good.
Yes, he did. He was a funny guy. A very kind man. I miss a lot of that in the Midwest. Very good people back there. Shout out to all of our friends in Iowa, Illinois, everywhere out there. All of our friends all over.
Hey, what's the name of the pool room now in Des Moines, the big one?
Big Dogs?
Big Dogs, okay. So I'm doing a clinic out there, and only in Iowa could this happen. Sunday I come there, 10 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. There's a goat at the front door, and it was protecting. Won't let you in or out. It's escaped from somebody's farm. It's been there for a while.
Go figure.
Yeah, only in Iowa do you get pushed off by a goat.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
They just opened a new room. Shout out to Pat Serrano, Jonas Klodek, Noel Klodek, The Rack, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's in Clive, Iowa.
Huh.
Beautiful big room. Huge room. 20,000 square feet. If you get to Des Moines, Iowa, stop by The Rack. Say hello.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
What's he got?
Well, he looked like he was going to play safe here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a little weak again. Once a little firm past the 5, and this time a little short. Could it have anything to do with the heat that the man at the table has applied in the last 2 racks?
Going to be hard pressed to reach this one.
Can he play the 9 rail first?
I think so. Well, no, he can't hit enough. Well, I'm going off the overhead camera, which is oftentimes deceiving. So maybe he can, maybe he can't. I can't tell. The answer is yes, he can.
Oh, he definitely could. He got below it. I think that was with the speed he used, right, Mark? So if you roll that ball a little bit more, it's got time to travel down and back up.
Right.
So just caught it a bit hard. Cue ball did not have time to go through the 1 like it should have.
No, I held the tangent line longer. The harder you hit it, the more the weight of the ball stays on that line before the spin can get it to the end rail. And he probably wanted the firm speed to help the object ball in case he caught it a little thin to still wobble into the pocket. So there's a trade-off there. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to like this one. If he has a hint the wrong angle here, this really plays tough. But you know what? He's made good judgments, so.
Can he draw right past the 6 here? Oh, he got quick. That was a little quick.
Well, he was trying to manufacture an angle. He wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, and probably just took his eye off the ball because he was, like you say, manufacturing the angle, wanting to avoid the 6.
And so far, he's made us like a stop shot or draw back a little bit and play safe on the 3 rather than try to force something that wasn't really there. He got the cue ball nice and everything. It's just the problem is the pocket wasn't there for the 2 when you do that.
Does he try to go into the 7? Oh, I like that. That's similar to what you were just talking about.
Just play the bank, yeah.
And he doesn't have to.
No, he can duck, which in some ways I think that's better because you're threading the cue ball through traffic, and if you miss this bank, you kind of lose all your momentum you just had.
Correct. You've been in control at the last 2 games on the board. Don't force it. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Pretty clever, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep the heat on. Don't give it away.
Yeah, I just like that decision all around, no matter what happens.
And he's earned ball in hand.
Yeah, a few errors here. A couple safety errors and now a kicking error. You have to give that as an error. He had a 1-railer. Pretty straightforward hit there.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. It's not that easy. The 4-ball is pretty heavily defended, even though there is a route down there. So,
can you play the 3 to the left side pocket and just follow forward past the 8 to that point?
But you get more towards the 4 this way if you can stun it.
Yeah, I just feel like it's more dangerous, right? If he gets into the cue ball a little too low, he catches the 8. You can carry that line following it. He's done fine. Oh, he had a lot more room, I think, than I thought. Right?
Maybe.
It wasn't even close to the 8, so he had a lot more room to do what you were saying.
Well, he got to the wide part of the position zone, the good position zone, so he did a good job there. He really does feel like he has a lot of billiards background, you know, his 3 cushion or whatever form of billiards he plays, but he's very comfortable with his position routes, that's for sure.
A little steeper than he wanted here. I just heard over the intercom that Federer Gorst and Joshua Filler drew each other. I would assume that's the bank pool. But it could be the 1 pocket. I know Josh had a couple of bank pool matches he had to finish up before he gets to the finals here tonight at 9 p.m. Well, he's got a chance to pull this back to within 1 after trailing 4 games to 0. Things change quickly.
Gerson has a ton of fight in him, that's for sure. You're going to get tested along the way. You don't win a tournament like this going wire to wire unscathed.
Starting to look a little looser as well, obviously. To your point, to your point, when you're running out, it tends to amend the ailments.
Yeah, you feel a lot better. And 4-3 is the score now.
Martinez after 7, 4-3.
Okay, Labutis now. Like to get something going from the break. Try to get that momentum to shift back to his side of the ledger.
He's been going to the left with the cue ball or his right.
7-ball tracking for the side pocket. Found it. 1 ball gets chipped up. He's going to get a shot, though. And the 2 is not too far away. It's not an easy shot to play position with. I think he can try to attack the 6-ball with the cue ball here. Might be the play. But, boy, you got to make a square hit. If you nick it, then the 2-ball gets, troublesome quite quickly. Yeah, the 2's up just a little bit, so you can't just totally just side spin it. You're going to have to use a little draw. Oh, he went below it. Yeah, that probably played more comfortably. And now he's got the funny angle to the side. That's not fun.
Yeah, you're going to have to hit the speed of the cue ball pretty hard. Makes this ball more missable for sure if you're going to the side. Can you just stop right there and Z the 2, almost 1-2 towards the 9? You can also chip the 2 down behind the 10. Use the 6 and 10. I don't think he wants to play safe, Mark, because of how the last few games have gone, right? He wants to stay in an offensive control, but very tough to do here.
He's looking at it down in the corner pocket, like he's going to cut it in with inside, come across. No, he's going to do what you said. Use the 6-ball smartly.
Yeah, closest.
Yeah, good job.
To the 6 that way.
Okay, now Martinez is being awarded his player timeout. So when we come back, we will pick up his shot on the 2-ball.
Okay, start the clock, please.
No audio.
Okay, here we go. One good kick. Now he's going to have to produce another good kick. A little bit long on that one.
Start the clock, please.
Yeah, and this is a big opportunity for Labutis to score.
He's looking at playing the 6 back into the side where the cue ball rests right now. He'll draw back just a little bit. Just roll the 5-ball in, let the cue ball go 2 cushions over to get on the 6. You need to land pretty good on the 6, though. If you want to get on that 8 in a real comfortable fashion.
Yeah, wouldn't center table be okay with the 9 where it's at, I think, on the 6?
I'm just saying if you fall a little short or a little long of the mark on the 6, you got long travel with the cue ball. So
Yeah, definitely you can go up or down, which can cause problems if you don't get flat.
Did he get it flat enough? He might have.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Might be a little steeper on the 8 than he wants. Yeah, to your point, Mark, he might have to come all the way down now the way he's looking. Or maybe he's just looking at the...
He might play it in the far corner pocket. No, he's going to go down and come back up. Well, he's going to play it in the far corner pocket, but that was not intended. I thought maybe he should just go ahead and go for that, just cinch it.
Yeah, and you're saying just play it on the short side.
Right. Because, he can still negotiate this because he's pretty close, but it could have got worse.
That wasn't clean.
No, but it also wasn't easy. It was certainly a missable shot. You just play this 2 cushions, just top spin it. And you want to err on the strong side there rather than come up short where you got another weird back cut if you do. So played that shot for all he could get out of it. And this regenerates a little positivity on the Labutis camp. 5-3.
5 as a 2-game lead.
Martinez came back from his break and kicked in the 2-ball just beautifully. Got tangled up. Then he went long on the second kick. And Labutis took ball in hand and cashed it in. Here's a good look at the TPA. Now the score is much closer. 39 balls for Labutis and 41 balls pocketed for Martinez. This year at the Derby City Classic, they added 6 more tables that we haven't had to help alleviate some of the crowding of the matches. I don't know how they're actually running on the outer tables, but things seem to be pretty smooth. The reality is we've actually outgrown this venue. All right, it's the 2 and the 7 right behind the 1. The 8 and 9 on the corners. Lobbied a pretty big heavy hit on him, but I don't think he's going to get a ball down. So it's a dry break.
Yeah, and we've seen this quite a bit where they're overhitting the balls just a tick and coming up dry. It seems like more accuracy and less power is the key with the used cloth. Can he get all of the 1? I believe he can. Speed's good. Don't want to be over the 7.
Yeah, that was a nice opening shot there.
Is he over the 7? And
a little bit. He's going to have to roll forward and play the 3 in the other corner pocket, I think. Might lightly rub the 8 if he rolls it.
Stop the clock, please.
Stop the clock.
Something going on? Something going on in here. Did not touch the 8. It might have helped him.
Mm-hmm. Almost like maybe he kind of anticipated he was going to rub the 8.
Yeah, and he actually pointed at the 8 with his cue like, yeah, I meant to hit that ball. I might have to travel around the world. I don't think the 5's a problem, but the 9 might be.
Right. If you avoid the 5, then the 9 gets in play. Got by the 9. And got by the 4. Wow, what a shot that was. To avoid all that, that's not easy to do.
Yeah, almost in a way you get the sense he was just kind of gambling a little bit there at the speed at which he hit it. Mm-hmm. Which you have to sometimes.
Now you got to make that decision again. Do I want to try to stun it and go 2 cushions around and come up off the end rail? You got to avoid the 9. And how you hit the side pocket makes a heck of a difference.
Yeah, good call there. He caught it thick, Mark, and that's how he could control the cue ball. Really right there on how you hit the side pocket. Any thinner, he's way further down.
Yeah. Boy, that was a good shot.
I really like how he walks around the table. A lot of guys will avoid that with the shot clock. You still have plenty of time.
Yeah. Yeah, 30 seconds is an eternity. And, you know, I'm a slow player, and my average shot goes off in 18 seconds. But I was worried about it, too, because they go, oh, you're playing in the Moscone Cup. 30-second shot clock. You're not going to be able to handle it. And I thought, boy, I've never I don't know.
You don't know until you test it yourself, right?
Yeah, and then come to find out, Strickland's 12 or 13 seconds. I'm 18 seconds.
Right,
my
you're
average shot. I still got plenty of time.
Sure.
So, but part of I am slower, and then the long, slow backswings make it look even longer. You know. For those of you that have insomnia, just Google up one of my matches, and you will go right to sleep.
That's not a bad thing, Mark.
No, I'm just joking, but I am slower than the average person for sure. But definitely the structured backswings contributes to the appearance of super slow. Oh, scary.
Yeah, that ball come pretty short. He didn't check it at all, but you didn't think he needed to.
There you go. Nice out there.
Up to a 3-game lead.
One year they used to have this guy in Indianapolis made it for the Camel Tour, and they had all these different awards, and they had the Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year and MVP, and guy that broke and ran the most racks, and the guy that was the best kicker and the best safety player. My award was the most boring to watch. I did win one category anyway, damn it.
Yeah, like I said, though, I think in a lot of ways that can be a good thing.
It was funny. I was runner-up to Ernesto for nicest guy.
That's also a good thing.
Yeah, it was funny, though. I did win one category, so.
Yeah, the Camel Tour, man. I had just come on, I just started playing, and I think I got to play just a couple of events, but it really was a good tour.
No, it was the best we ever had by far. Not even close. And the next thing was Kevin Trudeau's thing, but it didn't last, and it wasn't feasible. The Camel Tour, that lasted 6-7 years. That was a real deal. And they treated you just like a NASCAR driver. I mean, golly, it was so good. So organized, so comfortable. All right, Labutis, 6-3 in front and breaking.
It's actually a better hit. He finally came to his left with the cue ball versus the right. He's had more success that way.
Pretty thin cut, but I think it's manageable, right?
Yeah, it is definitely manageable. I don't know that he'll take it on. He passed something up like this in his last match. He's worried about the side.
Right, you got to turn the cue ball loose, and he's really tried to curtail unforced errors. So, to his credit, it's a winning formula.
I wouldn't even fault him at banking at this with where the 6, 7, and 2 are.
Gives you a lot more cue ball control if you can bank it rather than try to dice this in. Yeah, I think he's lining up for the bank, too.
He overcooked it. Just a little thin.
But that's the backdoor safety that I was speaking of. You don't, just because you go for it and you play it pretty smart, you don't always sell out when you miss.
Yeah, you got a pretty good rub off of one of those balls, but to your point, a lot of balls on the table and this can happen. Well, this is definitely makeable. No excuse to miss the hit.
Right. Yeah, he's the favorite to hit it by a mile. Yeah.
And that's the only way you're going to miss the hit is if you're trying to make it.
Right. He was trying to go 2 rails and use the speed and trying to get position. I think he tried to do too much with that, to be honest with you. I don't think that was the time for that shot.
Yeah, I concur.
Now, this will be a dagger in the heart. If Labutis gets out here, he's really got an uphill climb.
Yeah, it was leading 4-0. Martinez within 1, and now all Labutis. I like what he did there. Kept it simple. Just don't get too thin on the 3. I think he just pinches it back or even can stop it right there.
Yeah. Now he can get real comfortable on the 4 ball.
He wants to get even or below it. I think it's enough, just barely.
I thought that he might, because it did play a little awkward to get all the way to the end rail. You'd love to be on the end rail. Then the cue ball naturally has a trajectory towards the 6th. But he didn't quite get there, but he got there enough that he can force this. But I thought he might stay up table and just float off the end rail.
1 rail up, right? Yeah.
And you have a buyback. Please do it immediately. If you lose in round 2 and 1 pot, you have a buyback. Please do it immediately.
Didn't want to be quite as steep as he is. I don't see any trouble, really. He might have to flirt with the 10 when shooting the 7. We'll see where he gets here. Oh, he made sure to get past it. But now, flat on the 7. He's
a lot
going,
tougher.
Yeah, he's going with a high ball here regardless.
Wow. Yeah, this has got a lot tougher now.
Jeez, is he forced to actually try and punch this?
He might roll. He might just absolutely just slow roll it in and just take it.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to power it.
Okay, well, he had a little more angle than I thought because he got around there without even that much power. So
Yeah, and I think he created a little more angle than we thought as well. Like you were talking about, aiming at certain portions of the pocket.
tremendous recovery shot there. Now no letdown. These are those little twists and turns there that, because if Martinez wins this game, say he just kicks and hits it, maybe he leaves it kind of tangled up, and somehow he ends up winning this game, it's a big difference. Trying to go all out to get something that really wasn't there and be willing to risk giving away the game on that two-cushion kick, it's just too expensive. Once in a while you connect on it and do it great, but mathematically long-term, the results are not going to show up. All right, 7-3 is our score.
After a 4-game lead once again for Labutis.
Yeah, another 4-game lead.
7-3.
Problem is, for Martinez, is it's later in the match. So he can't afford, as you just touched on, to really make any more errors.
Sometimes, you hear people say, well, he's playing the score and things like that. And, well, when you're talking about rotation pool, the score has no bearing. The right shot
Well, it
is the
shouldn't
right
have.
shot. The right shot's the right shot. It's just a math thing. It's
Well, you see
it's the
guys, I
percentages.
mean, I understand, but you do see guys change their style up within the score line, right? Sometimes they'll get way behind and take on a shot that they might play defensively if they weren't so far behind because they're trying to create something to happen.
Right, but that's more, still the math doesn't work out, but sometimes it does just because they force the action and just try to see. But If you keep doing it, I'm telling you, the right shot's the right shot. You don't watch Reyes. If he's down 10-0, he plays the right shot. It's not like all of a sudden he's playing a 3-foot combination on the 9 to try to get back in the match. But you definitely see people do it. But I think it's more of a psychological thing than it is a real thing.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit yesterday, actually. And I totally agree. If you continue to play the right shot, the results will be much better. But it's psychological.
Look out for, I think
he's got a shot, Mark.
Yeah, okay.
Getting to the 2. He's going to have to elevate, come straight back, and miss the 4. Don't want to elevate and get over the 5 either, so big shot here. Might be able to cheat the pocket and go forward and come to the short side, but I don't know that the 2 passes the 6, the 5.
That'd be great if he could just go here. Giddy up, giddy up.
Yeah, the problem with adding any more speed there is that cue ball might arc forward, right? Like a force follow.
Yeah, that too, right? Yeah, you got to deal with that. And then a slippery claw, so
right.
It's even more available. And these balls get polished before every match, so they're going to be holding spin. This is unfortunate because now, well, maybe he's not going to have to kick that way. I was thinking he had to kick the other way. This has more possibility of getting safe kicking this way. Good hit. And he's going to be rewarded.
Sure is.
Justifiably so. I have to tell you, I enjoy no jump cue broadcasts so much more. I do. Because to me, it's more artistic this way.
Yeah, and I have to agree. I'm old school. I think that the jump cue's okay if they limited it. You know, if you could use it once a game or once a match or make it fun. Not to where you can escape every shot with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reality is it's another product for the manufacturers to sell, so that part's good. And the fans love it. But for us hardcore guys, we kind of like old school.
You know, the pro fishing tours are actually really struggling, and I'm going to make this example because they're coming out with such good technology now that they can see the fish, what type of fish they are in real time, and it's destroyed the actual talent of true fishing. And so now they're having big problems there as well. It's literally like cheating. You basically have a TV underwater, and you can find the fish. So, you know, you could compare that with a jump cue in a lot of situations.
Yeah, some of the artistry's gone then.
We're correct. Yeah, the true artistry of the sport, which fishing is a sport, trust me, is gone. And that's a big problem with the tours now in the world of fishing.
Did not know any of this. Are you one of those guys that can, like, cast 30 yards and hit a garbage can or something?
Pretty close, yeah. It's been my passion my whole life before pool. And I am one of those idiots that have those electronics, but it's kind of like fight fire with fire. If you don't have them, then you're just going to get left in the dust. Similar to a jump cue. If you're playing a tournament that allows them, you better have one.
Nice angle here. He's kind of getting through some balls.
He is, and you don't have to do too much here. You could just spin out with the right ball and play the 6 in the lower left corner if you'd like. It's pretty natural. Now he's going to check it and come to the side. Now you've got to run the cue ball more to get back to the 8. You know, if he plays it to the lower left corner, he just stops for the 8. Man, this can be a tad weak.
Grabs this big extension on his cue. Good shot.
I feel like this is all stemmed from the decision he made on the 5.
I don't know if that's cuttable. It might be.
Yeah.
It's going to be ultra thin.
Yeah, if he just played the 6 up in the corner or down in the corner, everything is pretty much stop, stop. It's all stemmed from that. This is going to be thin.
That cue ball's going to be hot.
Extremely.
So he's going to have, I think he's thinking about going with a little inside spin. Why did he point at the pocket over there? That's weird.
Because he thinks he's going right in it.
No, okay.
Maybe,
yeah,
right?
No, look at where he's pointing. Like,
Okay.
There's no way you're playing the cue ball for that.
I would hope not.
I'll just go right into the pocket, double the jaws, and come out for the 10. Oh, I see. I see what he's doing. Trying to get safe.
It's not going to get it either. It's not terrible. I mean, I feel like Brumback could hold that, but maybe not. Definitely got a defensive option. You can chip it up to the center diamond on the top rail with a left ball and come back behind the 10. It is on. It's giving it a lot of thought.
Going to measure it first. Oh, he's going to play it first. Oh, good call, Scott. He was able to get back there, use the 10. No matter what happens, that was just a good shot.
Yeah, it
Right?
was. He did crash into the 10, so I guess he had to hit it a little thinner than I thought. Just kind of disappointing the pattern he played there, speaking of Martinez. I thought that he had a pretty simple pattern and made it difficult, but that happens. Yeah, and this isn't going to work out, I don't believe.
This is right in Labutis' wheelhouse of that nice, smooth rolling ball, fluid transition type of thin cut.
Yeah, and Labutis up into the 900s now, shooting a 908.
Pretty. This 10 ball for a 5-game lead, 8-3. I don't know anything about fishing, but you know our friend Scott Kiddo. Scott, he got a settlement from one of his major car wrecks. He had many, but anyway, he got some kind of a financial settlement. He had a bunch of money. I didn't see him for a long time, and frankly, I never want any of his money, but it's just like when he has money, he's not around me much. He's with
I know a few of those people.
other parasites, but nevertheless. Right. So one day he turns up in my pool room, and I go, "Hey, Scott, how's it going?" "Oh, yeah, I was just down here in the Quad Cities. I bought a fishing boat."
Okay.
And I go, "Oh, a fishing boat. I didn't even know you fish." "Oh, I love fishing. I've always loved fishing." I said, "Well, okay. I've been around you a lot. I never heard." But anyway, I go, and I don't know anything about it. I go, what kind you get? Like one of them bass tracker or something? He can't remember the name. He paid $7,000 for the boat and the carrier on it. He goes, I don't know. What was that? And he goes like this. It has a built-in cooler. It'll hold a case of beer. That was the one feature he bought right there. Okay. Yeah.
That was the most important feature.
Yeah, exactly.
Told you all you needed to know.
Yeah. So I don't think he has state-of-the-art electronics. Right? I don't think he cares about that.
That's funny.
Boost breaking.
Yeah, really.
Is anything going on here? 7 ball? Yep, 7 ball ranged in there.
Well, you can really nudge him under the 4 here. The bank is possibly on.
Pretty thin to cut, isn't it?
Seems like it. It seems like it. I mean, if you did cut it, you'd have to just use a flat ball to really catch the thin edge.
And the bad thing with the cut is that when you miss, it always hangs out right there by the pocket. So you're really betting the game that you can pull that off.
I think the bank is okay. It's a pretty high percentage. You can get him under the 4 as well.
Oh, much approve. Yeah. No error. You're gonna have to make your openings here. What that puts a lot of stress on your opponent when you got the lead and then you tighten them down like this, where they never get an opportunity to get loose. Then when they finally do get a shot, they end up flinching.
Yeah, he's got him handcuffed for sure. They're in full control. Watch the cue ball. Watch the cue ball.
Oh, that's cruel. He actually used the speed to try to help avoid that, too, you know.
That is cruel.
He made a nice shot. A good decision. It's just, that's how devastating those little safeties are, is that a lot of things are out of your control.
Start the clock, please.
Labutis is looking right now. How do I get 3 balls from here?
Yeah, no doubt, right? It's all about getting to the 3 right now.
Yeah, if he gets to the 3, the rest of the rack play is pretty straightforward.
Could just stay out in the center. Take the cut, because your cue ball is going to track 2 rails up towards the 4. Does he have an angle to get below the 3? Much better, if he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he can.
He knows that speed control is sensitive on this one, though. Normally they play, they can hit the perfect speed control because they have a big margin of error, so then they're right on it. But here, now you say, small margin of error. Now speed control gets a little bit more tenuous.
Yeah, that works. Perfect.
Yeah, good job there.
Staying off the rail there makes a big difference as well. Accuracy comes way up.
Sometimes Danny DiLiberto and I be doing a broadcast, and it is kind of a point. It's like a psychological thing for the player shooting. He's on the hill to get on the hill. you know what I'm saying? Because
sure.
Now Gerson would have to win every single game from here. Man, you crank up the heat.
Really does.
Because now not only do they have to play great, they can't afford any misfortune, zero. And then, a lot of times, how it snowballs on guys. So, but Danny, he would be funny. It's on the hill to get on the hill. And then he'd say, well, he's going to go 2 rails. And I'd say, well, that was 3. Yeah, you don't count the last rail. I said, okay.
I like that, though, on the hill to get on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just tells you how important every game really is.
Yeah.
When you're talking about that.
Yeah. And that's a guy that crafted his living from trying to battle these guys in these matches, and how important each rack is, like you were saying.
Well, I got to give it to this man. He's up to 9-19 now. He's played really solid. A couple blunders early, Mark, but
not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
I think if there is a guy out there right now that could beat Filler, we might be looking at him. But he's going to have to do something special. That's for sure.
Very, very smart. Like I was saying earlier, maturity beyond his 22 years of age, so that only comes from playing those top guys a lot over in Europe. I don't think Martinez quite has that exposure to that level of talent. This is very draining mentally, too, to play perfect position throughout and just cash in every stroke, every opportunity, play the perfect safety, not scratch on the brake.
Sure is. Takes a toll.
9-3 is our score. Labutis at 922, Martinez 817 on the total performance average. Here's a good look. Very telling tale. 71-49 balls pocketed.
Yeah, 11 errors to 6. 11 for Martinez. But really, like you just pointed out, the pocketed balls are all you need to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the errors allows your opponent to make more balls. So you didn't have to really look at the errors that much. Just total balls pocketed. When there's a big discrepancy, that guy's going to be well in front. It's the same with any game. 1 pocket, 8 ball, 9 ball, straight pool, total ball count. Good break.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
just
that
about
much.
married up to the
Yep.
cue, all right. He's not wanting to, but I think he's going to have to come with something. Is he looking at the cut? And this is kind of where we were talking about how the score can dictate a shot at times. I don't think he's cutting at this, is he?
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay. Well, you see why. I guess when you're that close to it, maybe not quite as steep as I thought.
Yeah.
Still a great shot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys will look at this when you're trailing something like 9-3 in a race to 10. Well, you've got nothing to lose now.
Mm-hmm.
Just really loosen everything up. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. Sometimes it's called putting the dog to sleep, meaning you're not worried about the outcome. So then there's another term for it called give-up stroke, meaning no, but just meaning that you've lost your patience and
Seen that a few times. Yeah, that's a little weak.
I don't even know if he can get at the 6 here. Maybe he can.
Just hasn't looked 100% to me in this match.
I know he can't get at the 6 to play the 10. No. Yeah, he's got to look at cutting it past the 10 from here. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
It
good
actually-
shot.
Yeah, and he caught it. I'm
Good shot.
pretty certain it feathered the 10 as well. Wonder if we can get another look at that. Not that it really matters, because it did act as a big pocket in some ways.
Boy, good shot, though.
Yes, it was.
He went and looked at it, measured it up. I didn't think he even had that much of it.
You don't want to fall too low here. Watch out.
How do we define too low? When
This
the ball's
right
got to go 3 rails?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to fan this one in.
Fortunately for him, it's not on the rail. He can dig into it with a low right ball if he needs to. He's staying level. Smart.
Good shot.
Very good.
Side rail, check up on the end rail, get perfect position. Pretty classy run out.
Made it work.
Did you ever buy a nice bass boat or anything and not know the name of it, Scott?
No.
No?
I've been into bass boats most of my life, but no, that's pretty funny. I thought it was pretty good. I'm going to have to give him some hard time for that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, they say the best and worst time of a man's life is when he buys his bass boat, when he sells his bass boat or his boat. Fortunately, and I know he's not listening, but I have a pretty good friend that's really very good in the market, and I've done very well with him, luckily, knock on wood. But yeah, that's pretty good. I actually used to have, like a John boat with a cooler in it, and I thought I was doing big things, which there's nothing wrong with it, but when the cooler is the,
The
highlight
feature.
of the boat,
That's why I bought it.
yeah. Probably not too focused on all the fishing.
Good square hit. I like that. 4 ball going to range in there. And we're going to have a push out circumstance.
Yeah, it looks like it.
This is always what I'm mindful of. I got a good lead. I'm not worried about the outcome here. I just don't want him to get a 1-inning game in on me. What can I do to prevent that?
Yeah, what about like chipping the 5 up towards the 6, not all the way up there, but just make it tougher. Right? And then go to where he's at now with the Q-tip.
Yeah, that's just fine. And even if you falter on any of that, you're not any worse for wear. You have a kick right now that's ugly, so but you can take a chance to improve your times that you get to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
So he felt that it was just too much to move the 5 up there. So okay, this is all right. He's going to give it back. So that's a great outcome there. Now I think he can just I was going to say he can just bank it straight back at the 10, but maybe not because of that scratch possibility doing that.
Might be able to thin the left side of this ball and use the 8, 5, 7, and 6. Yeah.
Boy, good call. Good call. Almost made the 10. No, this is ugly.
Sure is.
Now you got to play one of these delicate, cute, just soft speed, just Efren Reyes, just lay up on the 1, and then you sometimes get the separation, get the 9 ball introduced in between the 1 and the 9.
Well, that's probably what Efren would do, but I don't know at this point in the juncture that that's what he's going to do. He might just rip at it or use a little bit more controlled speed, but I like the soft hit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to end up working out okay. Not fantastic, but okay. I just didn't think it was so iffy to get even this good of a result. I thought for sure he would have gambled on that soft speed thing. But soft speed he was not in the mood for more soft speed.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it was. This is not easy. This cue, I don't even know that he goes at this. This cue has to really be level.
Great job. This kid, I'm telling you, he's made some safeties. Just keeps the heat on, heat on.
Easy looking to draw into the 10. Wow. This is very steep to go into the 10. You're going to have to catch the 1 quite full. You're going to have some running spin on it.
Yeah. I would say 30%. Wow.
How did he do?
He never got to the rail. He hit it so good.
Absolutely.
Wow, what a shot. What a shot.
The crowd loved it.
Yeah.
He does
Made
have
something
pre-cushion
happen.
experience, right?
Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never spoke to him about it. I just can tell the way he goes at these balls. You got to have a spin. You got to have the right amount of draw. You got to have the right thickness on the hit. Very, very good, though.
Just like he drew it up.
Yeah.
Impressive.
You have to look at shots like, I'm sure how he did, that maybe I never get this good a turn. I know it's a low percentage shot. It's a shot I'm capable of. I also know there's some failure rate with it. I might not get this good again. Because it was an ugly spot to try to play safe from.
Yes, it was.
So.
Definitely.
If you say you can make that 30% of the time and you got 20% backdoor safety, that's 50-50. That's about the best you're going to do from there. And the audience appreciated a little excitement, too.
They loved it.
Yeah. Kind of woke up the commentators. 9-5. That's helpful. Be nice if he could get a shot on the 1 here. Break, make a ball, get a good shot on the 1. Get some offense going. Good break. Good break. And he is going to get a shot. Here's the 10 down table again.
Oof, the 7 just flipped the 2 mark.
The 2 and the 5 and the, yeah.
Yeah. Last minute, the 7 was coming down towards the lower right corner and flicked the 2 right back onto the rail. The 5, like he said, is also a problem. Take another look.
Let's see, our score was 9-3 too, right?
Yes.
One point, yeah.
Watch this 7 ball.
Dink.
Well, you get the idea.
We can see the result. Going after the 2.
Oh, he was actually right on track there. Just caught the 9. Well, you can chip the 2 towards the 9 and use the 7. Really cuts him off from a lot of positions if you do that. He's looking at it now. Just don't want to catch the 2 too thick. You don't need to get all the way over there towards the 8 either. Yeah, perfect.
Very nice.
Actually, probably could have used another rotation towards the end rail, but this is going to work, I think. Oh, yeah, he's good.
You know, there's another aspect, too. You're never going to win a big tournament like this if you don't come back and steal a match from well behind anyway. So you have to view it not negatively, but this is an opportunity. Hey, I could really do some damage if I come back from here. No, nice speed. Nice speed. Good judgment on that.
Yeah, he was aware all along that good things could happen with that speed.
Yeah, from where you're kicking at, you're just hoping if you get yourself back to the table one more time in this set, or this rack, you've made a good shot.
No, I like it. I don't care how it finishes. I like the decision.
Yeah, he got distance and had a chance to get in behind the clutter.
I don't think he's going to like this, because I do believe he can get to the right side of the cue ball. And he can. Excuse me, the right side of the 2 ball. Well, this is really good.
Yeah, this is just what he's played the whole match. Poor Martinez has come to the table looking at these kicks so often. Yeah, got to manufacture an angle. That's how hideous it is. You can't just go natural angle.
You could try to bend it below the 6, but I think this is the right move. I don't know if you get the distance as well this way.
Not anxious to rip out the 5 either.
Yeah, that was kind of the problem going that way. I don't want to down him for it, right? Because he knows he wants to get a good hit, but at the same time, you're not going to get a lot of separation.
No. When you have to warp an angle to begin with, right there, that denies you a lot of separation possibilities.
Do you flirt with trying to go off the 10 here?
He's looking at it. I don't think he should.
It's definitely all feel if that's what he decides to do. I think that's a smart play, right? Work with what the table gives you.
Right. Minimize your unforced errors. And that's what he's played. You know, that's how he got here. So
Just get down here where you can see the 5 full, or are you trying to come at the 10? Yeah, just get down where you can see it full enough. That way you can knock it out 3 rails if need be.
that 6 ball's pretty large over there on that shot.
He might be able to swerve it in. I don't believe so, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, I don't think he was playing for the stun safety, but maybe.
I think he can cut this. Oh, he's landed perfect. What a great hit he made on the 4. I mean, the speed he had on the 4 to get perfect like that was great. It's also a very good way for him to finish. He's at 9.26 right now in the TPA. It'll give him a lot of confidence going in to the finals versus one Joshua Filler. Going into the nut.
Oh, very sharp, very sharp. Move that 9-ball down there so it's not hard to get position on. Outstanding.
Yeah, it just happened to lay that way, right? Why not?
But he recognized that, there's guys that still try to force things around. Now he has now he can just roll this, got a big position zone, a lot of good things there.
Yeah, right, Mark. This last half of this match, he has really turned on the gas.
Yeah, from 4-3 in front. Labutis went, 4-0? And then he went 4-3 in front.
Yeah.
So
when he was leading 4-3, he was actually behind in TPA. So what a move he's made.
yeah. He's earned this victory. That's no doubt about it. It's not over yet. He still has a big shot, but I'm saying, boy, he put a ton of mental work into this. Ooh, staggered it in, but he kept the pressure on his opponent, and man, that's world-class performance right there.
Exciting to watch. I think this is the guy for the job. If Filler were to get defeated, well, he's got a chance. Let's see what happens in the finals, Mark.
Yeah, hope to see everybody back here at 9 p.m. This has been an ACCUSTATS video presentation. Any rebroadcast or republication without ACCUSTATS express written consent is prohibited.